of what is going on. Ever since this issue has come up, nobody talks about whistleblowing. Nobody is asking questions about the funds that were reportedly recovered to be replowed into the Nigerian system. Nobody is asking what happened to the subsidy. Before now, they told us that billions of money was being wasted on subsidy, on petroleum subsidy, that if they increase fuel and remove the money made for subsidy, that will have enough money for Medicare, for all manner of things. All of a sudden, all we're talking about is restructuring. Nobody is asking the question that where is the money that we have been told will be saved by TSA? So this is just to distract us. And while we are busy running around asking, is it restructuring by going back to 1960 region, or through federalism, or self-determination, some people are looting us dry. And by the time we wake up, we'll be too close to 2019 that most of us in this hall can do nothing about it. And most of the people who are championing this restructuring are old men, with due respect, who do not have up to 30 more years to live. So why should an old man like Professor Nwagwu be the one that will dictate for me how I will live in the next 30 years, of which he's not sure of? So if you want to discuss how we cohabit in this marriage, which some people have called forced marriage, it should be we, the younger ones, all below 60, should sit down and ask ourselves, how do we want to cohabit? To what extent are we willing to leave half of our bedroom for our spouse? It's unfortunate that young ones are also shouting restructuring without asking these basic questions. So I think until we are honest with ourselves that our problem is not a structure called Nigeria, but rather us who are operating the system. Until we realize that the governor from my state cares nothing about me but to loot. So I think restructuring is good if we are restructuring our mind or our mindset, and not necessarily the structure called Nigeria. I also wish to, at this juncture, welcome Comrade Ezenwa, who has just joined us. He would have been here earlier. It is not his character to come with, but today is his birthday. We had to drag him out at the point of Comrade, welcome, sir. And the issue of restructuring is an issue that Comrade Eze has spoken elaborately on, and keep speaking on until we take over the narrative. In line with our program, we discovered that he is built to talk on restructuring. So I will kindly hand over the microphone to him, so that he will take over from where we stop. Yeah, Brett, are you not fit? So while we're waiting for Comrade to calm down from the birthday cake he ate without us, we can still be interacting.
Well, I think the issue of restructuring, as a masses, the question we need to ponder upon is, for how, when they have been restructuring, according to what when somebody raised, the other contributor said is only to renegotiate from the ruling class to compensate themselves by giving them state. But something that, one of the reasons for this program is also because NSA has organized a curriculum discussing Nigeria. A lot of people came, including Sultan and everybody. But nobody remembered to point out that beyond restructuring, even if we restructure, what of the psychological trauma that a lot of events in Nigeria has caused? And what I mean is this: in Nzuka now, no, even in ABU Zaria, somebody who is not from Kaduna or Zaria cannot come to VC. That is question number one. That is number one. Number two, the DG of Federal Medical Center, Bida Nigeria State, it is Bida DG. Even when somebody who is an Yoruba man rose to the level of the cadre, he was not allowed to climb the post of. He was not allowed to be appointed as the chief medical officer of the Federal Medical Center. Those are the crises, miniature crises that are happening in many of our society. Just yesterday at Bullet, when I was dropping while coming from Yanya, and I said Bani Kudi and Bani change, and the guy just gave me change and he started insulting me Yoruba. That our Hausa we won't quit. That is Hausa just did not bring them to Abuja and they were enjoyed. I was born and brought up in Malaysia in Osun State. He didn't know that I understand Yoruba, and those are the level of which we have been divided beyond I mean, in many of our areas. So if we say we should restructure to regional system, as far as regionalism remain, as far as the state and the resources is in the hand of few individuals, the crisis of Nigeria will continue. And that is one of the reasons why, even when people are calling for uh, the separatist group from southeast, we make it clear, yes, the right for self-determination is an inalienable right, but the truth is that a Biafra, even if it's possible, it's not going to end poverty, hunger, starvation and inequality among the people. What we are saying we are marginalizing today, it is the ruling class that divide all of us on language, tribe, and we must all remember that we are all human beings. We are all human beings before religion, tribe and color divided all of us. So it is important, and that is why we as the masses, we do not just continue to follow the. That is why program like this is organized. If it is 2-3 people, we will organize it to put it on the debate that restructuring is not the end to poverty. In fact, it's going to rehabilitate the ruling class. Perhaps at that time they will now say, okay, if not to do 4 years, Igbo will now come and do 4 years, then Yoruba will come and do another 4 years, then we now begin to arrange it. It's a vicious circle, and we must unite to see how the vicious circle should be break. And ultimately, we must not also forget that it was when the reigning of new minimum wage came about, the Nigerian working people that are suffering required a new minimum wage. The new minimum wage and the ruling class, the attempt of the ruling class now is to make sure that the new minimum wage issue is shifted to early 2019, when they will need the working people's vote. But it is important, how long will the working people will continue to work and get no pay? Today we all know that Nigeria is in crisis, but the crisis is avoidable. It is what is avoidable. Anybody who says the problem is a reform by the Buhari government is implementing the pro-poor anti-rich policies since inception in 2015. In the last 2 years, the Buhari government has implemented electricity tariff. They increased electricity tariff, they removed subsidy that we fought heavily in 2015-19, in 2012, January 2012. But don't be surprised, last year May, as miniature, as small as we are, we entered the street, we rejected the policy, because the policy is a neo-colonial policy that it increased more poverty. Most time when people are talking, they don't want us to talk about how the poor are suffering. What they want us to talk about is that once everything is fine with the individual, then the society can enjoy it. People can pass for entrepreneurship. The IMF, at that time they were saying no, don't fund education, fund NGO. Now they are the ones that are now saying back to neo-colonial country, third world country, you need education. The budgetary allocation to education in Nigeria today is it's less than 10%. Even when the Buhari campaign, according to his bloggers and his media campaigners, they said they will subject education to 15%. The UNESCO recommend 26% of education to any country that want to develop, to standardize its education. But today, who are the people building universities? Who are the people building big secondary schools? And how many poor people can attend such university? So it's beyond restructuring. We must not just think that restructuring is when we want to take us to region, then life will continue to be better. It's not going to be better, and it will never be better under the system we are operating. But in order not to make the program too ideological, I want to draw a certain conclusion before coming. Ezenwa, who has been he has been also raising a side in the debate for restructuring, which I think many of us will also learn from. My final submission is that why will a country that is so stupendously rich like this are suffering, and we are suffering? Joblessness. The truth is that joblessness, hunger, poverty is all over Nigeria. In fact, less than 1% Nigeria live, less than 90% Nigeria live less than $1 a day. It's not a lie. If you want to justify it, just go to Usetu. If you are eating, don't go to North, go to Usetu in the end of the fast food. Sit down and be eating, stand up and go and wash your hand before you come back. People, it is poverty, it is capitalism. And until we get rid of capitalism, this crisis will continue. I will hand over to Comrade Ezenwa to make his contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I think that it's better to call me Ezenwa, so that, because the challenge in Nigeria is that so many things, titles have become the most important thing, I've attended programs where somebody, if you call somebody doctor or something, you say that you didn't put the chief. Yes. And because of that, he's not going to respond to his name. I think it's part of what we need to, deconstruct as well. Titles don't make you what you are. It's the work that you do and the impact that you make that is very, very important. People say, you ask somebody calls you a comrade, you ask him how. Because why? Before I can call you comrade, there's a place there are things that bind us together, there are things that we share together. Somebody who is a criminal, will call you comrade. And you ask him what is the relationship between us. How, at best, call me a brother. Comrade is a more deeper and a more serious thing than people make light of it. But I want to thank Che for drawing our attention to some of the issues that are important. Many times I tell people, the reason why we are not as many as we want to be here. Those of you on Facebook, if you want to test it out, if Che publishes this paper that he has outlining the contributions of great people, great women, you are going to see 3 likes. People will read it. But if you remove your dress, remove all your dress and just snap a picture of yourself, your bare body, you will see 200 likes. What does that mean? People don't pay attention to serious things. And even things that matter to them, that are even in their own enlightened best interest, you are likely not going to see the kind of interest. So I just want to congratulate you for making our time to be here. What are we discussing? We're discussing restructuring, but who initiated this conversation? We are receivers of mantra and cliches. We receive it and then we start running with a cliche that we didn't initiate. We woke up one morning and the buzzword everywhere is what? Restructuring. And all of us, without interrogation, without asking where is it coming from, we have been running with it as nebulous as the conversation remains. Nobody has a head or tail as to what you mean, what is that conversation, what is it about? Because it is not initiated by the people. So what do you have? You have somebody telling you that except restructure Nigeria, except Nigeria is restructured, the country will fail. It has not been restructured, it is not going to fail. Because if you go to Otubo, for instance, okay, there is a golf course in Otubo owned by somebody who is called Senator Ibman. 90% of people who are from Otubo will not play golf. Am I lying? No. So, who are those who come to play golf in his golf course? Who are those people now? Generals like him. People like him will visit, will come because he has a helipad. Okay? There's a helipad in Otubo where if you bring your helicopter, you can land there. So who are those who are landing to play golf in the masses? So there are 2 tribes in Nigeria. 2 tribes only. You are rich or you are poor. If you are rich, you can never be marginalized. If you are rich, you can never be disadvantaged. If you are rich, you can never be vulnerable. If you are rich, you cannot suffer what the poor suffers in Nigeria. If Buhari was not, I'm going to come to definitions later. If Buhari was not a president, by the status that he has assumed, former governor, military governor, former GOC, former minister of petroleum, former head of state, former chairman PTF, none of his children will go to Osun State University. At best, they will go to ABU. But the scenario is that they are not even going to go to ABU. They will go to University of Birmingham. Right? So, if Buhari was not president, if he's ill, as he is now, the Nigerian government will fly him to the best hospital in the world and use taxpayers' money to do what? Treat him. If Sultan of Sokoto is ill, or Obi of Onitsha is ill, he is not going to go to the medical center in Onitsha. I'm telling you what binds them together. There is a unity that holds the rich together. It is not tribal marks. So when we've been pushed to the conversation on restructuring, I called it an elite pastime. The conversation around restructuring is something that the elites who are not in power right now are using to engage themselves. The ones who are outside the corridors of power have no conversation. They have nothing to do. If Fayemi was not a minister, he would be one of the strongest voices for restructuring in Nigeria, because he's one of the intellectual. Is the ideologue. He's one of the strong ideologues of the proponents, of the half of the proponents who are out of government. If he was not there, he would be leading that conversation on the need to restructure. But today, you cannot hear his voice. If he is sacked today, this morning, he will go back to restructuring argument. If Chris Ngige was not Minister of Labour and Productivity, he would have been among the elders of the Southeast that sat down in where to be talking about restructuring. Did you find him there? So my concentration is this. This conversation is not our conversation. The restructuring conversation does not belong to us. What belongs to us is to look at chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution. If you have read chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution, can you raise your hand? Let me just see. If you have read, if you have seen it, raise your hand, and you didn't read it. Now, what does chapter 2 contain? Chapter 2 talks about the state should provide free education from where? From primary to where? University. Oga lawyer, you don't take for chapter 2. So if the state provides free education from primary to university, do we need to restructure anything? Hello, I need to hear us so that we can be on the same page. It's already in our constitution that the state has responsibility to provide free compulsory education from. So why is nobody talking about it? So if I tell you that if you are a Marxist, or you are a market woman, or you are a atheist, or you are a Christian, you want to have free compulsory education for your child. Is that not so? So you see that your own conversation, you are not leading it. Why is government not ready to implement what it has even enshrined in its own law? So when I tell you that restructuring argument is not your own, it does not belong to you. It actually belongs to other people. It's the pastime of those who have been completely taken away from putting their dirty fingers in the public team. They want accommodation. But the Nigerian people should stay on the fact that if we have it in our constitution, don't tell us there is no money. The time to tell us that there is no money to implement that is over. Now that we know that humongous amount of money can be stolen by one person,
Now that we know that the general who is in the theater of insurgency in Maiduguri will take 18 million naira for 9 days as allowance. Now that we are aware that just to lift crude, that on procurement alone, that somebody can make that a contract of billions of dollars, why is it difficult to fund what the Nigerian people want? That constitution says that government should provide housing, affordable housing for citizens. It says government should abolish corruption. They now put in that place, they said when applicable, what do they call it, when applicable or something. But what I'm saying is that, can we as Nigerian people not become recipients of things that do not really concern us? Additional states to be created for Southeast. So when you create that additional state, what is the guarantee that you don't have Rocha Sokorocha who is going 59 months pension in the new states that will create? Because it's important to interrogate. Yes, it may be okay. There are layers of dissatisfaction, there is inequality, there are problems. The response to it is not to bring another problem. Because Nigerians' way of solving a problem is to add more. If there are problems in your economy, what do? Structural adjustment program. Is that not the response to it? Oh, if you know, this place is not functioning well, sell it. And for us as a people, they have also, once they throw those things, you see educated people who are educated, who claim to have gone to university, will be parroting their own arguments with the doggedness of a priest. What is important to us is what we should pay attention to. That's my own. Hunger is a challenge. How do we resolve the question of hunger? There is nowhere in the world where big agriculture has solved the problem of hunger. It is to incentivize small farm holders all over the world. That is what solves the problem of hunger. It is not the number of tractors that you have. And in Nigeria, you have political farmers who go to what do you call it, Kashi, buy an expanse of land and go to BOI and tell them that they have a farm. And BOI gives them 100 million. The money is shared between the BOI people and the political farmer, and he is happy. He will not till one ground. Now, the woman and the man in Benue who is cultivating the things that are rotting away on that road, nobody is teaching them how to preserve those things. Nobody is teaching them how to stop. If you fly in any of our airways now, the juice that you take is produced from Ghana. That small juice, packet of juice that you see, is a product of Ghana. Yet, your oranges, your cashews, produced by who? The small farmer. Not the one produced in Obasanjo's farm. So, how does the argument, how does our breaking our head over restructuring address the fact that even if you are going to incentivize farmers, you are not going to give money to the small farmers? It is still Obasanjo and his gang that will go to Bank of Agriculture and collect the money that is needed to produce food for our people and preserve it. Because it's not just the production of food that is the problem, it is the preservation of it and turning it to something usable that can produce resources for the average farmer. So we are dealing with a conversation that does not belong to us. How does restructuring solve housing deficits? Do you know that majority of your citizens do rotational sleep? You may not realize what I'm saying. Some people will be playing drafts from 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. They will be on draft. Papa, papa. When 3 a.m. they go and wake the other people who are sleeping to come out so that they can sleep. It's happening in your country.
Yes.
Because people do not have accommodation. So if you like, you can be joining them and doing conversation on how restructuring will be El Dorado, but it does not address the fundamental everyday concerns of the majority of your citizens. So whose responsibility is it to initiate a discussion that will affect the middle class? I'm interested. Who will be that person to initiate? Will it be people who have no direct benefit? People say, oh, President Buhari, anti-corruption fight, and I laugh. How can a man who has no direct, he's not a victim of corruption, will never be a victim of corruption? His family will never be a victim of corruption. What is the incentive for him to fight corruption? If the hospitals are not working, what concerns Buhari with it? Does he go to hospital in Nigeria? Even the Aso Rock clinic that is with him, does he visit the place? So whose responsibility it is to argue that affordable drugs, when your citizens are dying of preventable diseases, who will be the one to make that argument? Is it the government or you? That is that. So we should initiate. My call this morning is that we should be initiators of agenda. We should be the ones setting agenda. Let us not continue to allow people to set agenda for us. The agenda they set is imperial, is alien to us. It does not concern us most of the time. The one that concerns us, they divert our attention from it. Citizens of Nigeria need to go and see what is in chapter 2 and ask the government of our country why it is not implemented. That is the debate I want on restructuring. Please implement chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution for the benefit of majority of Nigerian people. Whether you are a Marxist, whether you don't believe in Marx, that's not issue now. Dogma does not put food on your table. In fact, if I used to tell people, I said, if you gather all of us as we are here now and we want to leave this place, and 90% of us are begging for transport to leave, this meeting that we came here is useless. Because after all the grammar, it means nothing when you are a beggar. Yourself has been dehumanized. So let us argue for those things that improve our human conditions, irrespective of where we come from. Whether we are Igbo or Yoruba, poverty is walking on 4 legs in majority of our cities. And poverty has no tribal marks. Hunger has no tribal marks. Lack of education has no tribal marks. When people build their stereotypes, they tell you that if you see somebody from the north, they say, ah, Mala, you no go school. Mala, they call him Mala. Is that not so? We all have those. Then the other one will call you Yamini. The other one will call you Ofemanu. We stereotype different places with our imagination. And those of us who are educated also continue in that stereotyping. But I was telling people, I said, look, in Anambra State, you have Achebe, you have Kweme, you have all that. That is a deodorant that is smelling around the decay of illiteracy that is under. The majority of the people there are functional illiterates. It's the same thing. If you go to the north, you will have Sanusis of this world. You will have all kinds of names that you can brandish. But the majority of our citizens have no education. Whose responsibility is to put that on the agenda? Whose responsibility would it be to push that out? Should we join in a restructuring debate that is not our own, that talks about sharing? All that it talks about is to how to share something. Let us go back to religion. Please, I just want to ask a simple question. If you are, at least if you are 30 years old, here now, is there a time your parents ever told you that everything is okay? Hello? No. They called you and said, in fact, as you are going back to school now, everything is ready. All that I've been hearing since I was born is that things are difficult. Is that not so?
Yes.
So That means that even in the structured period, it was the children of Awolowo and Akintola that were enjoying it. It was the children of Zik and Mbadiwe that were enjoying the majority of our people who went to school in Southeast Nigeria used community effort to go to school. The poor people used their palm oil and palm fruits that they sold and contributed to their education. And when they finished school, they never came back to return anything to their people. So we are talking about a restructured, let us go to regions as if once we go there, you get a new class. That new class will continue to oppress the majority of our people. So the oppressed, the greatest weapon in the hand of the oppressor is the mind of who?
The oppressed.
The oppressed. Once they have your mind, once they throw it, after restructuring, they are going to throw it. And let me tell you, restructuring will end in 2018. The conversation on restructuring will end when? 2018. The new proofs will be power. Where will power go to? Who will be what? Who will be what? Zoning will become the issue. When people lose again or get accommodated, they will invent a new one and we will all be running with it. Shamelessly running with it. And it surprises me. It surprises me. So my call for us is that going forward, the challenge of the majority of our citizens is that they are hungry. And there is no response to their hunger. What we are throwing at their hunger is a outlook. There was one chap who was wearing bow tie before I did that. I hope you know the guy. Are you listening to me? When he was around, did you listen to him? He said that they have produced rice from their Abakaliki belt. Is that also? That from the whole of Abakaliki belt to it, that rice that will feed the whole country has been produced. Then the next thing he said was that he was going to provide telephone for farmers. Hello? Yes. That he will provide telephone for farmers, blah, 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 blah. As we were saying that, his application was with ADP. Do we have rice in our homes now? At affordable rates. This character has come. How do we do? He changed from the Abakaliki belt. He's now talking about the KB belt. KB. From KB belt, rice everywhere. Where is the rice? Response to the challenges that our people feel is not the kind of response that we are getting. But we are the one to direct the argument. That is what I'm saying. Anywhere you speak, don't speak their language. At least create your own language. Let them know that you understand, that you know what they are doing, and that the fraud that they are perpetuating, that you know it. Even if they cannot solve the problem, let them not feel that they have sufficiently deceived us. Health. They build federal medical centers everywhere. As we speak, there is no cancer machine working anywhere in Nigeria. So the president can have cancer, he can have anything, he will get the best of it. The majority of our citizens are dying. And on Facebook, they will be telling me to post how to fight cancer when I know that they don't have what it takes to fight. I cannot post anything. I will not post what I know that we don't have. No machines, nothing. God is keeping Nigerian people. There is nothing in our hospitals anywhere that can address even the basest of diseases. What kills majority of our citizens is misdiagnosis. Our people are misdiagnosed. So, for me, all the message that I have for us as we mark this CUBA Solidarity Day is to say that the language of the oppressor should be circumcised from where? From our lips. We should take it from our lips, we should take it from our thoughts. Let us think our own thoughts and say our own things and have our own message. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, in order to move forward, we have in our midst a musician, and that is going to perform for us for a few minutes. Shall we continue the program?
Hello. 1, 2.
Alright, I'm happy to be here this morning, and I really like this conversation, and I think I want to be part of the conversation with my music. And before then, I was prompted that our last speaker is marking his birthday, and I think it would be nice for all of us, because he spoke so well. You know, he was very apt with everything he said about the state of the nation. So I think it won't be bad if we, with one voice together, say happy birthday, a few seconds to him, the Ezenwa group. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. One more time. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Maybe I should ask you how old you are. You are now. I will celebrate you, sir. And I was really touched. You know, I was really influenced by, you know, your conversation, by your speech. Thank you, sir. Many more years to you in health, in blessings, and the grace to reach more people. You know, he said something that the battle is first from the mind. And I will start with this song before I go to some of my song, then I'll close it. What pirate, yes, the rabbi, sold out to the merchant ship. Minutes after they took I from the bottomless pit, but my hands was made strong by the hands of the Almighty. We forwarded this generation triumphantly. All we have to say is songs of freedom. It's all I ever have. Redemption songs. Redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, cause none but the yourselves can feel your minds. Have no fear for atomic energy, cause none can stop at the times. How long shall they kill our prophets while we stand beside the love? Some say it's just the part of it. We got to fulfill the book. Und to join me sing another songs of freedom? 'Cause it's all I ever had, all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery, 'cause no more the words can feel. Oh my, whoa, have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none can stop all the times. How long shall they kill our prophets? Why we stand beside and look? Some say it's just a part of it. We gotta fulfill the book. All we have to sing, it's songs of freedom, 'cause it's all we ever have. Oh, redemption songs, redemption songs, 'cause it's all we ever had, all I ever had. Redemption songs, redemption songs. Thank you. Please, can we let me do my original songs and stand up for justice and freedom of life. You see, politics of hypocrisy, the more they say, the less you see. But no matter how thick the darkness is, it can never overcome the light of one candlestick. Hey, yeah. Though the loud talking voice we first be heard, I know, but I don't worry. 'Cause the weak looking truth, even the whispering truth, we always stand. It will never fail. Stand up for what is right. Stand up for truth. Stand up for justice and freedom of life. Stand up for what is right. Stand up for truth. Stand up for justice and freedom of life. You see, those who have your gun, they think they'll always stand strong. But as you run along, you got to know where you belong. Many are the afflictions of the higher men, but they shall be delivered by the mighty hand. Oh yeah, you see, One more time I say, though the Lord talking voice, we first behave. But the weak looking truth, we always say, it will never fail. Stand up for what is right. You gotta stand up for truth now. Stand up for justice and freedom of life. Whoa, stand up for what is right. Stand up for truth. Stand up for justice and freedom of life. And freedom of life. And freedom of life. And freedom of life. Okay, this is the last one before I leave. And we're talking about the need for us to really stick together with one voice. I won't sing it to the end, I'll just sing the verse of it in our closing. We have a mission, it is our calling to serve the fatherland with dedication. Let's build this nation without confusion. Yeah, let's come together to make things better with one voice. We will get there with one heart. We will make it with one voice. We will get there with one heart. We will make it. I think I'll stop there for today. And I have just about 9 copies of the CD, the songs. If you're interested, you can pick one. It's just 500. All right.
And the money goes to charity.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Now we want.
I think the campaign when was already, I think it's just for the benefit of the rich. Because if Senate President would have mind to say to bring out his son, require it to run for 2019 election, I think it's wrong, and he do that for your own selfish interest, but to benefit from what we campaign for. So sir, I don't know your own point of view to it now, because we campaign for it, but those politicians, they use it as their own benefits. So that's my own question. What's your own ideology? Thank you, sir.
Greetings, noble Nigerians. My name is Ezenwa, head of the Revolutionary Council of the Nigerian people. I'm happy to have some young men and women here, and they are trying to iron out things on how to salvage your country. Because as you can see, the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in decadence and rot. This is evinced by decadent and rotten institutions and dismal productivity. There's no way a country can exist without resplendent and respectable institutions which will propel productivity in the country. Unfortunately, it is not happened here. Now, this you are talking about revolution. I'm the head of the Revolutionary Council. My own question is in terms of the type of revolution we need, because I can see some people talking about restructuring. When you talk about restructuring, there are many things to be restructured in this country. And the first one to be restructured is the culture of cupidity and egocentricity in Nigeria, greed and selfishness. Even among us here we have it. That is the first thing to be restructured, the first type of mindset to be restructured. Now, we have a National Assembly that is a center of treasury looting, that is earning the Senate 36 million naira and the House of Reps at 25 million naira. If you calculate their salaries, it's enough to pay 70,000 workers in Nigeria. That is the type of House of the National Assembly will have, a center of treasury looting. And of course, you know what is happening in all government institutions, direct from the army, the police, education, which is now 30% pass mark, transport, health, and others. Now, you know what is happening in our electoral system, that your votes don't count again. Now it's a question of when you go there, you bargain and pay 20,000 or 10,000 naira, and then you say your conscience, you just go and place your hand somewhere, and then you say your conscience deluded, you say your vote. Even if you eventually happen to vote, your conscience, you find out that their vote may not count because it could be doctored. So in the face of this, patriotic, noble Nigerians, I propose, as the head of the Revolutionary Council, that the only way to salvage this country is for the people of Nigeria to come out in full force. What is happening in Togo today is what is going to happen in Nigeria. That the people have to come out en masse and demand equal rights and justice, and demand a government that is utilitarian to the needs of the people. Not a government that will elect a few people and then they will continue to enrich their pockets, and the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. The people of Nigeria, just like it happened in Togo, in CUBA, have to come out en masse. And I am directing this to you youths, that the future of this country is in your hands. We people, we are old, but we are telling you, exposing to you what is happening. No amount of constitutional amendment, no amount of governance can save this country unless there is a realignment of forces, that we use a conference where the people of Nigeria will come out en masse and say what is the problems, and this thing is put into a constitution that is utilitarian to everybody, where everybody will agree. And then there will be a new social order, there will be new governance. So, my speaker, sir, don't you think Nigeria is ripe for the people's revolution? Peace and love. Greetings.
Any other question?
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chibuzo. The speaker brought our attention on
to do away with what? This National Assembly, so that the Nigerian people can then readdress the imbalances. Many people today who are shouting restructuring told us that we are crazy, that we are mad people. And with due respect, sir, you are very old enough to know what I'm talking about. They say we are crazy. If you have a National Assembly as presently constituted, discussion about restructuring is a wide good chase. We are just speculating. And I've told myself that I don't like to waste my time. Within the confines of the challenges that we face, can we do things that address the challenges of our people? Because knowing that except that is taken away, what do I mean by that? If you go to that National Assembly now and say, let us give one more state to Southeast, you have told us the number of people who constitute representatives from one side of the country are in majority. If they say no in the National Assembly, you cannot have one more seat. Two of us are. So, if in many cases as well, you are likely going to have people who should be your supporters in the National Assembly even voting against you from other places that are not the people that have advantage. If you understand what I'm talking about. So, I quite agree with that. I know it. You are not the only one that knows it. So, if you continue to say restructure Nigeria, and the political parties who bring people to the National Assembly, who have members from the southeast, because the way to go to the National Assembly is not through religions, it's through what? The vehicle to that place is through a political party. And those political parties have not come to terms with this thing that you are saying. We are just going to be having academic discussion. So I'm taking myself away from academic discussion to say I realize the problem, sir. I know it very well. I don't see how we can address that problem without suspending that thing that holds it down. That's the number one thing to do. So that was the point that I was making. And I don't want you to say I'm opposed to. I said it's a discussion that is not for me and you. What we should place our finger on now is that Jigawa State has this number of local government that you have said. The resources that go to Jigawa State, to whom does it go to? I served in Jigawa State. The chairman, I lectured in the College of Education in Gumel. The chairman of the Gumel local government only comes to Gumel on Tuesday and leaves on Thursday. The next time you see people in the local government is on salary day. The traditional rulers of those communities get salaries. The traditional rulers in Southeast Nigeria get salaries from the money that comes from the local government. The majority of the citizens of our people have no relationship with the resources that goes to Jigawa or Kano. The majority of our people live in squalor, whether they are in what do you call it? Whatever, in Abaino, or that's where I'm looking at. I understand what you are talking about, but the majority of our citizens, whether in the north or in the south, do not benefit from this allocation that you are talking about. So, what is my struggle? My struggle is that struggle that helps me to see whether majority of our citizens, whether in Kano, in Jigawa, or in Mbise, benefits from the resources that comes from our people. And I found the solution in chapter 2 of this same military coupist constitution. They put it there that they will provide free compulsory education for who? For Nigerian children from, if we are able to struggle to get that to happen, it may not make this money that is shared will not be available to be shared. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not ignorant, sir. I am as educated as you about the challenges that we face. But our solution to it just differs. And the way we engage it. I want other people to be engaging that one. I want the people who are victims of injustice, not just political injustice, economic injustice, to wake up to the struggle to rebalance the country economically. Why do I say that? One family in Nigeria has 2 private jets. The husband and the wife. They are not from Kano. They are not from Jigawa State. The only thing that gave them access to have 2 private jets, where a husband and a wife cannot enter one jet together, is because they know the president of Nigeria at that time who gave them access to have oil well. That's my point. If there is a Dangote, I don't envy him, I don't begrudge him. But Dangote is the richest man in Africa because he has waivers. He's been granted undeserved waivers.
And he didn't get that waiver because he's from Kano State. Emeka Ofo, they shared discourse in Nigeria and Jonathan gave to his vice president Kano Kaduna disco. They shared the other one and gave to Emeka Ofo and Emeka Ihedioha for the Eastern disco. They know how to do this thing. You sir will be waiting and be talking about the allocation that goes to this and that. When they share their things, they don't do tribe. And they don't do. So I'm just saying, sir, that the struggle is first and foremost to start from the level of economic rebalancing of the country for the benefit of the majority of our citizens. And that is what my conversation is. I don't like to do intellectual arguments that I know is wasteful. When we put our energy, I'm not going to stop. When we put our energy for the call for sovereign national conference, we were isolated. The people who are today dancing around some referendum, what do you call it? Restructuring. We are calling us lunatics because they were benefiting. They are no longer benefiting. They think that it is to share the states that will benefit them. And I say no, the majority of our citizens are hungry, and that is where we should stay. That's my quick and Princess asked a very good question. Princess said, why are people like you not running elections and go and do it yourself? My response to that is that, you see, once you speak good English in Nigeria, they say go and run elections. That's the response to it. Everybody should run election. My response to that always is that, do you think that what I'm doing now is not beneficial? I'm just saying that if you have a calling to run elections, to go and contest elections, please do. But I understand what I'm doing right now, and I understand what it means for me at this material point in time. And I think there are people who are encouraging many of our people to go into government and do the needful. But please, what you're doing now, some people don't want you to do it. There are people who want you to get out. There is a program in government, and I would say it for the benefit of many of us here now. There is a suck-in program in government. If you notice, the strongest voices in civil society have been sucked in through consultancy. Okay? What does that mean? They create committees at times and make you members of that committee. Committee on Northeast, committee on Shite, committee. They people those committees with civil society group, and huge allowances are paid. So once you continue to be in those committees, your voice is ceased, and you are not able to engage and consistently provide this kind of thing that we are doing now. I am not in any way diminishing the quality of intervention that you made, but I'm saying there are some of us who will still be doing what we are doing because it is relevant to pushing society to do the right thing. And once they find us on the other side, there are many of our people who are collecting furniture allowance now, who are collecting hardship allowance, who are collecting wardrobe allowance. That has made it impossible for them to play that role you think they are going to play in the National Assembly. They have even become the ones who are opposed to us because they know us. So it also always follow that most times that if you go into government, it means that you create that change. In many cases, it can even close you out. It can close you out. So there is a need for us to do what we are doing, push these people to do the right thing. I've had that every time, go and contest election. And I asked, there was a time I was headhunted by the European Union to come and work in the EU. The condition for my job was you will not be on television, you will not post anything on Facebook, you will not be outside after 7 p.m. You will not, and I told myself I wanted to be a good boy. Let me also organize my life, do 9 to 5 job. I went there. 4 months after, I ran away. I couldn't cope. I'm just being honest with you. And the money was fantastic. I couldn't cope because I couldn't understand how I would be invited to come and say something that impacts people and I will not go because one European Union is paying me miserable
money. And there are people, many of our time, who have been sucked into that place. And their work is doing ofofo for government. That's all, for foreigners. Write reports about our country, send it. That's all you do. Everywhere. So I understand what you're saying, but the calling is not for everybody. People must design their own calling. I also talking about religious divide. There is no religious divide. People make, let me tell you, in my church, and I'll answer you with this story that I'm going to tell you now. If a poor man in my church doesn't come for Sunday service, the pastor will attack you. We didn't see you on Sunday, brother, something. Where were you? Now, the one that is rich, that is bringing plenty money, may not be around for 3 months. If you come, what does the pastor say? Oh, brother, you are welcome. We've missed you. Oh, we know you've been very busy. What does that tell you? It's not a function of religion. It has nothing to do with it. All is a drama. It's game. It's used to divide. It is not religion that divides. It is the use of religion that divides. And the state effectively does that when it suits them better. But it is for you to resist it. And before you became a Christian, you were first a human being. If I was born in Saudi Arabia, I would not be a Christian, I would be a Muslim. If I were born in the family of the Sultan of Sokoto, I would be aspiring to be a, what do you call it? And I'll be the head of Muslim United. I did not choose where to be born. You didn't choose where to be born. If your parents had the choice to choose who they will give birth to, it may not have been you. They would have chosen someone else. So why are you making it look like it is about you? Your parents had no idea who they were going to give birth to. When you came, they saw you just like any other person saw you. So whether you are white or you're black, it is not even your choice. You had no choice in being a Nigerian. If you were to make a choice, you would have wanted to be an American. That's where we are all running to. So why are we pretending as if there is something fantastic about religion and where you come from and all of that? It's our own creation. We designed it to make ourselves happy. And finally, you asked me about not too young to run. Let me tell you something. Democracy, the youth of Nigeria are the most stupid people that I know. You have demographic advantage, but you do not have political advantage. Whose choice is that? So you want the children of the rich to be excluded. Is that democracy? No, democracy that excludes children of the rich. What we are talking about is constitutional limitation, where the country will put in its constitution, that except I am 40 years, I cannot aspire to be president of Nigeria. There is something criminal about that. Yes. That if I am 39 years and I have double PhD, I cannot say I want to be president of my country by law. That law has to be removed. So if the law is removed and Buhari's daughter is 25 years and says I want to be president, it will be left for Nigerian people to say we are not going to vote for you because you are 25 years. Not because it is in the law that a 25 years old cannot run. Are you getting the difference? So don't come, you see, we are always seeking advantage for ourselves. If we are contesting the election against a woman, we say you are just a woman, she will be frightened and give space. Is that also? They say I'm a woman now, you know a woman cannot, she will run. We want advantage. The advantage you must take is your number. The number of young people. Take that advantage. We are not taking that advantage. You want us to say children of Saraki should not run election. Why? In a country where they are born. Is it because his father is a Senate president? Is that does that disqualify him from aspiring even if he's a young person? Don't vote for him because he's Saraki's son, because the father is a thief. That is okay. It's understandable. But you cannot say he cannot run because he's from the rich family. And I've had that stupid argument. Not you too young to run. The campaign is based on constitutional limitation that has been placed on young people. And we want it moved from the constitution. In South Africa, if you are 18 years, you can aspire to be president of South Africa. Has any 18-year-old person aspired in South Africa?
Not any. So don't waste your time about children of the beach. Contest against them, mobilize against them in a free, unhindered, without limitations environment. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. I think we have more questions from people from people before then we can forward. Short question. I hope you also answer shortly so that we will not. All right.
Good afternoon, comrades. My name is my name is Comrade Frederick Guava. And I have this to say. We are talking about a very good thing.
Is it a comment or a question?
A comment and a question. I'm very brief. We are talking about restructuring. My question is, what are we restructuring? This issue has been on the ground. We have been restructuring, and it has no effect. What are we restructuring? This is a language that somebody has just cooked overnight and to deceive people. I look at it that the major problem we have in this country now is deceit. The politicians, day in, day out, they kept deceiving us. And we are keeping quiet. And we don't even know, I mean, we are confused. It's like we are confused and we don't know where we are heading to. I look at it that we have elusive so long and nobody is responding. Like he has just said, I picked something from his, comment. He said the youth is like the elderly have failed us. Let us say that. They have failed us. Right from 1960 to this very present time, what have we achieved? Nothing. Confusion here, confusion there. And the youths have to wake up to their responsibility. We have to do something. We will not keep quiet any longer. We have to keep talking. If they like, let them kill us. We have to wake up. It is high time. This will come up. If not your son, it is your brother. If not your brother, your in-law. In the colonial era, I cannot explain what really transpired. But all we knew was that we were slaves. But now, this nation, independence is here. But today, we are still slaves under our people. So there is need for us to do something. The way I look at it is that we have to come out. It is high time. These people that have been in power from 1960, their families, their relatives, they have been spending a goosey soup. And we have to come out and tell them, enough is enough. And throw them aside. We have to come out in mass. I don't really think I have questions because you have addressed all questions. Yes. No, I say I don't really have questions. I don't really have any questions because he has already addressed and spoken of them. Let us come out in mass. If possible, we go to National Assembly and tell them, step aside. The youth have to take over the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Any other person? Sorry, sir, let me pick.
Once again, good afternoon. I'm Comrade David. Sir, before now, I just want to ask this one simple question. You have spoken well, and you are aware of the issues on ground. I want to know, all these years past, while you are in office or with this group, all your presentations and communicate before the government, how are they faring? And two, how did you do it that this number is just the only ears that are here to hear you? I don't know how we can take it far, because by our own caliber too, we may not have the well-to-do to get that force you are asking us to imbue in us. And three, how can we reach you in terms of your contact and the rest? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are you asking questions?
Thank you very much. Please, the guest speaker, please. You have spoken well. People have spoken well. You know, this type of symposia is being done everywhere. and you see us repeating the same time, we shall do that, we shall do that. Who will get
Yes,
that?
been 130, but of Cuba and Nigeria 1 year after the death of Fidel Castro. So here will be.
Thank you, comrades. On behalf of the good people of Cuba, I bring you greetings. Unfortunately, the Ambassador of His Excellency can't be here. We were together last night, and he said I should show you this as evidence of having been to Cuba. But because what we are discussing is strictly the internal affairs of Nigeria, it's not here strictly. What I will do is, by November, we are going to do proper remembrance of Fidel Castro's death, 1 year after Fidel Castro. His Excellency has assured me that he will be here or wherever the program will be slated, so that we can interact one-on-one with the people of Cuba. But on behalf of myself, my organization, and all who are participating, I wish to tell you that Nigeria and Cuban government have good relationship. Nigeria may not have been the ideal state that we want Nigeria to be, either a socialist or a communal state. But with continuous relationship, we can get there. And another interesting thing happened yesterday when I was at the embassy. I saw the Cuban ambassador pouring libation when he was about to give us call. He poured libation to Odimoja. And I started asking him, in Cuba, they worship some Yoruba gods. And I was telling apart that if outside the shores of Nigeria, our brothers that will share common heritage still pay homage to the gods we have abandoned in the quest of the god of the Midwest, or rather the god of the Middle East, who cannot solve our problems, then we need to start reconnecting with our African brothers wherever they are. Like I think it's Lucky Dube said, no matter your color, as long as you're black, no, it's Peter Koch, you're a black man. So the Cuban people share a lot with us. They are willing to help us individually to attain that which can, so long as we are willing to also affect humanity. So sincerely, by November, we will hope to stretch out an invitation to all of you whose numbers we have recorded, so you can participate. And for those of you who are good in sciences, you can get scholarship. And if you get involved, unfortunately, let me say this before I hand over the microphone. The Cuban government has discovered a vaccine for diabetes. They came to Nigeria looking for a site where they will set up the factory. Nigerian government didn't give them. They moved to Tanzania. So the vaccine is now done in Tanzania and imported to America, there to Europe. Then Pfizer and all those European companies will now pirate it and bring it down to Africa. It will also not be fair for me to end this without discussing the relationship between Cuba and America. Unfortunately, too, the Cuban people are, as far as Nigerians, they don't have access to control the media. So most of the lies we hear about Cuba are lies told to us by the Western media. Cuba has 98% literacy. Hardly will you find an illiterate in Cuba, no matter your age. Cuba has the best Medicare south of the equator, or among the third world nations. They are self-sustaining, but because of the embargo placed on them by America and the Western companies, they don't want socialism or the system present in Cuba to be transported to other parts of the world. That also brings me to the 50th anniversary of Che Guevara's murder. Because Che was murdered because he believed that there is need to transport the success of the 1959 Cuban Revolution to other parts of the world. That it doesn't make sense if Cuba is the only socialist state in existence that Cuba can survive. And he has been proven right. He came to Africa, he was in Angola, he fought with Kabila. After Kabila, he went to Angola and met, I remember his name, Bembela. After meeting Bembela, he moved around, but he was also looking for a fertile ground where mines can be harvested so that we can move humanity to the next level. Unfortunately, he got to Bolivia. And on the 8th of October 1967, about 250 special trained troops, the Bolivian troops trained by the CIA, were able to deal with 17 of them. And his gun jammed and he had injury
and the rest is history. But what has remained consistent is that there's nowhere on earth injustice is raised that the spirit of change does not rise, seeking in whom to express himself. So we have a lot in common with the Cuban people, and we encourage each and every one of us to have a lot in common with your neighbor. But we are fraternal neighbors with Cuba, beyond sharing that scheme. And you are not rich, you are not comfortable if your neighbor goes home hungry. But you'll be awake not knowing what your neighbor will do at night. Having said this, my comrades, I would like to ask if there are questions. Well, today is Comrade Ezenwa's birthday, and I forced him out. So usually on his birthday, he doesn't come out. It's a day he takes for sober reflection, and I begged him that please, we need to start talking to ourselves. So he came out. So please, he may not stay for a very long time, but if you have questions based on the lecture he delivered, kindly ask so I can answer. So after Comrade Eze, Comrade Vivian, on social action, we'll discuss the roles played by women in pre-independence, what I call reincarnation of democracy in 1999, and the future struggle of Nigeria, because we have been unfair to the feminine folk. Most of us who are still undergraduate prefer to call them alter E, or call them classes of the struggle. But women are much more than that. So I crave your indulgence to tarry a little while after conversation we have done. We have rum, we have cigarette, we have that one I don't call their name, that one we have later.